Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So you've had some fun at the range with your brand new Taurus Defender 856 6-shot 38 special revolver. And I promise you guys, I talked to the guys over at Taurus, and they're pumping these out as fast as they can, but with everything going on, supply and demand is insane. Some places you can't even order new guns right now, so it's just very strange times. But I promise you, I did a review on this already, and there are more of these coming out, so keep an eye out for them. But we need to take it back to the table because there's a lot of rounds through her. She's nice and dirty. Time to clean her up. So let's do that right now. Show you how to get her cleaned up, ready for the next range trip. So let's talk about what you'll need to get this job done. So you'll need a Taurus Defender 856 unloaded. Check the cylinder there, make sure you're good. Check the barrel, make sure there's nothing inside there, any kind of obstructions or squib loads. All right, then kind of going left to right, I'll talk about some of these things on the table. Some things you need, some things are just suggestions. All of it will be linked down below for you. So on the left here, cleaning rod. It's a push-through cleaning rod that spins, helps go with the grooves of the rifling inside the barrel. You'll need a 9mm or a 38 special brass or nylon brush, and also a pull-through. These are for patches, and those all kind of work with that particular cleaning rod that I've had for many years, so they last a long time once you get a good kit. And the brush is actually for the 6 cylinders because it's kind of the easiest way to get those clean. Kind of think of them as 6 little barrels. You want to kind of scrub them out a little bit. Luckily, they don't get that dirty, but it's good to kind of get them cleaned up. Now for the barrel itself, that's a little tricky because you can see it's kind of hard to get a rod down going this way, down towards the end of the barrel. So what I suggest is actually a 9mm pull-through. This actually is made by CZ. I use it for my Scorpion all the time, and these have little wire brushes kind of sewn into the nylon rope, and then the nylon itself, you can kind of see it's a little dirtied up there. That actually cleans and swabs the barrel as well. So these are really, really cool and useful, especially for like your longer barrel 9mm, like an AR9 or a CZ Scorpion. These are awesome. Also, I suggest using some gloves. The chemicals you use, depending on what kind of oil you want, you probably don't want sitting on your hand. Plus, they tend to kind of stain your hand for a day or so, and it's just good to kind of help protect your hands a little bit. Now, talking about the oils, I use CLP. You can use whatever you'd like. I used to use like Hops number 9. I just don't see the need for it. CLP kind of does it all. It's a cleaner, lubricant, and preservative. And you can also buy larger bottles on Amazon. Again, I'll try to get some links for you, but this is kind of how it looks like when you put it in a spray bottle. This stuff is, I don't know, probably a few years old, so that's kind of how it looks after a while. Patches. So patches, these are kind of designed for 9mm, which is good. So pretty much any realm with a pistol kind of caliber there, any kind of pistol caliber, this works really well. Good size, won't get clogged up in there or anything like that. And again, 38 special is kind of similar to 9, so this works good. These typically I save for your semi-automatics. Now the revolvers are very similar in how you clean it. In fact, it's a little bit easier because you don't really have to take too much stuff apart. But this is good, kind of getting in some of these nooks and crannies with a patch. Get in here a little bit, get around there, you can kind of see how you can clean it up. So these little picks combined with some patches and some oil do wonders. And these little tipped in picks here, plastic polymer, they won't scrape up anything, which is nice. So I think that covers just about this whole thing. The only thing you might want to consider right before we start cleaning this here is you could take the grips off and you have your frame and all the spring mechanisms in there that run pretty much the entire revolver. You don't have to take it off. There's one screw right here. You can take off the grip. I don't recommend doing that at all for just regular maintenance and cleaning, but maybe once a year, if you're shooting this a lot, take the grip off, clean it up. There's probably some good gunk in there, but overall, it's not something you really need to do in a typical, kind of almost like a regular routine cleaning. So let's go ahead, get the gloves on, get going. So normally when you're cleaning a semi-automatic, you have to take her apart, take the slide off, take the barrel out, take the guide rod and spring out. But this actually makes it pretty easy because you don't really have to take too much apart here. So what I want to do is I'm going to kind of work inside out. So I'm going to start with the barrel, kind of work all the insides here, go over to the cylinder, kind of clean up the frame. That way you're kind of cleaning as you go from starting on the inside and moving outward. So first thing is that barrel. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this spray here. I'm actually going to just spray it around that cone there as well as down the barrel. I'm going to unwrap my overly long for this job, but very useful still, 9mm pull through. You can kind of see how this works. You have a weighted end here, You have your nylon rope. And you also have a loop on the end, which is good for extracting this if it gets stuck, as well as putting maybe some patches on there, kind of extra cleaning. All right, so what I'm gonna do, take my little end here and drop it in. And I'm just going to feed her through. And you can see why this might be useful. It's because you can actually get some brush of some type, which is right here, inside this tiny opening when you're cleaning it, all right? And then just pull her through, nice and slow. You'll see the rope kind of twist a little bit there. And you actually have 2 brushes here, which is good. And then pull her all the way through, okay? So I'm gonna do that one more time. Gather my rope here, put it over there. You can actually try the little dropper here if you'd like to. And it's nice because it cleans up the front of that cone as well. I'm going to drop a couple of drops of oil in there. Once again, you're not going to hurt too much with this. If you put a lot of oil on the frame and the cylinder and all that, I've seen people just douse this stuff, for revolvers especially, just because they're a little bit different to clean. You can kind of see how a lot of the gunk is on the outside of the frame here compared to most inside for semi-automatic. Pull her through, and that kind of swab at the end here really helps. All right, take a look. And I mean, she looks really good already. So what I can probably do now, just to test it, because it's hard to tell with that rope, take a cleaning rod, take a patch, put her through the eyelet there. I'll show you here. So I'm just going to run her through like this. You wouldn't want to do this with a brush, but with a patch like this, you just want to kind of check to see if she's still dirty, and she is. So I'm just going to run through this brush one more time, put a little extra oil on there. You typically want to go towards where the round would go when you're running a brush through, so you don't want to mess up the rifling in any way. Pull her through again. Oh yeah, nice and shiny, and it's user preference on how much you want to clean this. I mean, even that wasn't too bad, and even some of this is probably from that cone there. So that's it for this rope right here. I mean, you could use it for the cylinder, but as you can imagine, it's kind of a pain. You can actually use this for the cylinder. So what you want to do now, grab a fresh patch, spray some oil on there, and just start wiping her down on the outside here. You can see it's very dirty back here. Now there is the firing pin right in there, so what you don't want to do, similar to a semi-automatic, is pour oil right into that channel right there. So you kind of want to either leave it flat, kind of pointed down slightly, and just start scrubbing. And those picks are going to come real handy when you get into those little nooks there. Alright, so I'm actually going to grab a patch here. Grab my little pick. I'm going to get on the top of this cone here and around the sides of the cone. Kind of see how that works. You just kind of work in a circle, and that's probably the easiest way to get clean around there. Kind of see how it's catching all that right there. Do it one more time. So these picks come in very handy. Okay, and then stuff it in here in the channel, and just go back and forth. There's a little locking tab right in here where this goes into. It's pretty important to use these little picks to clean out that a little bit. Just good to have there. You can kind of wipe over that tab there. A lot of this stuff is going to be burn marks too. You can see that. It's going to be hard to kind of clean up there. Grab another patch, spray it down a little bit. Yeah, see, a lot of that stuff is just, where'd the other one go? Straight one here. Yeah, it just kind of burnt on there a little bit. You can also use toothpicks. You can use little Q-tips as well to kind of use something if you don't want to get these picks. Just to get something to get those small areas. I see a lot of people use Q-tips quite a bit. Just be careful of those fibers. You don't want to get anything kind of left behind with the Q-tip, especially back in that firing pin channel. This ejector rod right here is very important to kind of wipe down, and then we'll oil it at the end. Get in here, a lot of that's just kind of burnt on, but I'm going to try to scrub it a little bit. You can kind of see that in there. You can kind of see right there, that's kind of burnt on there. That's just the nature of a revolver. But get as best you can. We'll wipe this down with a nice coat of oil when we're done. See if we missed anything, but there is definitely some stuff right on the inside here. So flip that around so we can get a better scrub on there. Try to get in there a little bit too. There's that handy pick here. And pretty much the ultimate goal is to just hit as many spots as you can and get it to where you're happy with how clean it is, and then making sure she is oiled up and ready to go for the next time. So I think this whole part of the frame is about done. Let me hit down here. Just gonna go over this right here as well. This is what connects into these grooves here on the cylinder. So let's make sure this area is clean. Yeah, a little bit on that face there. Yeah, it's not really going much. Okay. All right, so the cylinder, grab a fresh patch. I'm gonna hit the outside. We'll use that brush for the inside. 6 cylinders there. So wipe off the outside here. All right, maybe spin it around. Clean this side here. All right, so I'm gonna go and check by running my brush through. And what I'm going to do is actually wrap one of these around it like so. It's kind of a little hack I learned over the years here. Put a good amount of oil on there so we can use it a few times. And just go straight through. And you can see how dirty it is, and also with the patch around there you really get a deep clean following those grooves. So I can probably get maybe 2 through with just this patch here, and then switch it over to another patch. Let's get this one here. There you go. All right. And again, kind of treat it like a barrel. I don't want to run the brush the other way. I mean, it's not a big deal, but your shells are going in from the back, so might as well keep it consistent. Okay, again, I'm totally going to lose track of which one's already been brushed, but you know, that is the game we play. I think this one's good. go. Just to remember where it is with my thumb here. It's going to be the next one. This one right here. And straight through. It's honestly a little bit more laborious than your typical semi-automatic, just because you do have these cylinders that you want to kind of keep clean, so you just got to take your time and go through them. Of course, this one's all folded up. Might just hit it once with the brush all the way around, and then go with the swabs here. That way, just the pull through. That way it doesn't take too long, but you can probably hit this as many times as you want with the brush, just until patches start coming out really clean. But I'm not too worried about it. It's cleaning up pretty nicely. Alright. That's a good one. How's it looking in there? Oh, it's looking pretty good. I'm going to hit this one more time. I think that was the last one there. It needs to be clean, because it doesn't look as clean as the other ones. So wrap it around. Little taco there. A little bit of oil on the end. And it was this one right here. I'm actually hit the one next to it too. Might as well use this patches as efficiently as I can. Yep, that one too. So it's good, you can kind of tell which one you've hit just by looking at it, see if there's a good shine to it. Let's see, right about here. Man, it does not want to stay on there, does it? There you go. Alright, that's a good clean for it. Okay, so I think you're good with this brush now. Let's grab the pull through. This is going to be a little bit easier, because we're just going to swab it, see if there's any dirty ones left. So grab one of these, pull through about halfway, get some oil on each side, and we're just going to swab them out. This one you can go back and forth on, I think, with the patch again, just like the barrel. It's not too big of a deal. Now we can use more of the patch as well in the front and the back. Okay. So if you can kind of see in there, it's looking really good. Okay. Make some room. Alright, I'm happy with the cylinder and the barrel. So grab a patch, a little bit of oil on there, and let's wipe down this piece here as well. Take your pick here. You can kind of work into some of these grooves a little bit. See those little grooves in there where the lockup is, where it pushes it to the next round. I don't see those being too dirty. But you can also activate the plunger now and take a look at what you're dealing with underneath here, because it's good to get this all clean as well. As well as the actual rod itself, which you can just rotate in your hand, and that is all cleaned up. Do one more patch around there, make sure there's also no stray cotton pieces in there as well. Yeah, I think this turned out really good. All right, not too bad. The outside here needs a little shine, a little polish, especially in the grooves here. So much harder to tell what's clean on these things compared to a semi-automatic too, because it's just hard to tell on what has been just kind of burnt on there versus what is clean. Typically with semi-automatic, it's a little bit more straightforward on what's still dirty, what's clean. I hit that all with a dry rag there as well. So go around here, make sure this is all cleaned up. And of course now you do have oil on your hand, so once you're happy with the majority of the cleaning here, which I think I am, I mean this thing is super smooth, locks up nice. What I'm going to do now is actually take off these gloves real quick, less spread. Alright, and now just take a fresh patch. Wipe it down. It's not a big deal if you leave some oil on there, but it might help because you might see there's a little bit of residue left over from your gloves on there. But for the majority of the time, you can even leave these overnight with a little bit of oil on it and you'll see it's not going to be just caked on the next morning, which is good. It does kind of evaporate a little bit. But get all the parts here, wipe it down. And there's a couple of places that are recommended to oil on here, so we'll take a look at that here. That's what that little dropper is going to be good for. All right. I mean, you can spot clean this as much as you want, wherever you want, up to you. I have a couple of little scratches there already, but that is what happens to revolvers here. All right, so take your little dropper here. All right, first and foremost, put a drop right here and run that a little bit. You'll see it's going to be really slick, which is what you want to see. No. Make sure that spins nice. You can even put a drop right here, right in there. Help make sure she's spinning free. Perfect. All right, and then lastly, put a drop right on this hinge, right here. Make sure that is good to go. Work that in a little bit, and I think it'd be good to go. You really don't want to put any oil drops on the hammer or the trigger. You could probably run a oil swab through the barrel if you want, but I just shoot this thing a ton, so not too worried about it, but it's good to keep it lubricated up. And that is it, guys. So, well, I hope you guys found this useful. I mean, this is kind of my method, but hey, you know, if you want to take some of this, incorporate some of your own ideas as well, go for it. This is kind of an overall cleaning, typical just maintenance, keeping it all in working order and ready to go at a moment's notice. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions, hit them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. If you want to pick up any of the products you saw in this video to kind of build your own cleaning kit, all of it's down below, available on Amazon. Links will be down in the description below. And as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, it really helps me out. Head on over to Instagram, follow us there, like us on Facebook for all the latest and greatest deals on the internet, and I'll see you guys in the next review.